She holds a bachelor degree in education and bachelor degree of law from Phnom Penh, Cambodia, as well as a master degree in social science with a focus on international development from Hong Kong. And now she currently lives in Sydney, Australia, and also do freelancing on some project in Cambodia and the surrounding region. So for Ms. Rashanabel, the time is yours.
Next slide.
Good morning.
Morning.
I try to read in Bahasa, but look like I'm failed, so I'm gonna go in English.
Yes.
Just a little bit about myself. I'm a Cambodian citizen and still a Cambodian citizen, and I'm currently living and working on women's rights and gender and fundraising in Australia. And I'm doing also consultancy work in Cambodia and in the region, and recently doing consultancy in South Africa as well. So it is a great privilege to be here with everyone, and as you can see, I'm quite nerve-wracking right now. But I mean, who won't be? Who won't be having a nerve-wracking, right? It is a room full of wisdom, knowledge, and experience. There's like more than 100 years of experience among all of us here. So it is nerve-wracking, but it is a real pleasure to be here among judges, prosecutor, professor, mediator, arbitrator, and legal professional who have dedicated the whole life to fairness and justice. Today we talked about something that sits at the heart of this mission, the ways gender, power, and intersectionality shape dispute resolution. And this conversation is just an introductory only. I usually run 40 hours to discuss gender, power, and intersectionality. So this is just a teaser. Maybe Professor and Dr. Sabela can invite me back for the next 40 hours section. So before we dive into this, I would like to invite all of us to pause and reflect a bit. Imagine a workplace mediation between a junior female staff member and a senior male supervisor from different culture and socio-economic backgrounds. Think about who holds the visible power, like experience, gender, and who might hold invisible power, perhaps moral authority and community support. How might intersectionality shift your interpretation of fairness? I'll give you a minute to reflect, maybe discuss among yourself or talk to the person next to you. The whole, since the beginning of this conference, we talked about neutrality, we talked about fairness, but I want to highlight something that neutrality sometimes doesn't mean justice. Neutrality sometimes doesn't mean equality. So how are we going to make it equal for all parties in the mediation process. So the reason that we need to discuss about gender, power, and intersectionality because it is important to acknowledge that these dynamics are always present, are inherently present in every interaction, every people communication, even though it is unspoken. Sometimes our body language also demonstrate power dynamic, power relation, gender relation. Without speaking a word, the way I look at Mr. A or eBay could also represent some sort of power dynamic or gender dynamic here. So it is very important for all of us to be aware of this dynamic. So in dispute resolution, as I mentioned, we often talk about neutrality. We in fact aim for neutrality, but neutrality doesn't mean equality. Process that appear neutral can still reflect existing hierarchies in society. Recognizing where this bias may operate allow us to take the first step toward a fairer process. So first, we have to understand our inherent bias. As a human being, we have our inherent bias, so we need to understand that, and we need to understand our social location, where we are come from as a mediator. So let's define some key concepts here. So so I'm sure like everyone here understood that gender is not just about biology differences. It's not just about men, women, and trans. It's beyond the physicality biology. It is about roles, expectations, and behaviors that society assigns to people. And power refers to the ability to influence decisions or control outcome. Who can say what, how much time can they have, who got interrupted. Yeah, and power can appear both in an obvious and subtle ways, like we say, there visible power, invisible powers. And finally, intersectionality. It is a concept that introduced by Professor Kimberly Crenshaw. She is a law professor. She introduced the concept in 1989. She reminded us that individuals experience inequality differently depending on the interaction of gender with their identities like race, class, culture, religion, education, and even geographical area. Yeah. So the next one, we talk about gender dynamics in dispute. Gender communication patterns often shape how parties are perceived in dispute resolution. Research shows that women may be interrupted more or their credibility judged differently. Like emotional expression can also be interpreted through a gender lens. For instance, an assertive behavior from a man may be viewed as confident, while from a woman, it may be labeled as aggression or difficult. These perceptions subtly shape outcomes. Another example, like when I come here, I said, I'm nerve-wracking. You are more forgiven. You are more emphasized because I'm a woman. Imagine if a man come here, sit here and said, I'm nerve-wracking. You would react differently. This is the gender lens as well. Okay, and the next one, we talk about power imbalance. Some form of powers are structural, like those built into systems or hierarchies, like especially in Southeast Asia, like our country, we talked about position like professor, doctor, lawyer, judges, uh, senior man, senior woman, and then junior. Like you get the picture. Yeah. And while others are situational, arising from specific context of dispute, as the mediators, judge, or arbitrators, we hold institutional authority that can influence how participants behave. Even our tone, the sound, the tone that we speak, the sitting arrangement, or how we allocated speaking time can reinforce or reduce hierarchy. Being mindful of that helps us promote fairness. Intersectionality practice. Intersectionality comes to life when we look at how multiple identities overlap. For example, a woman from a minority ethnic community may face not only gender bias, but also cultural and linguistic barriers. These overlapping challenges can make it harder for her voice to be heard. By being aware of intersectionality, we avoid treating people as one-dimensional and instead consider the full context of their experience. We already did the case reflection, so please move to the next slide. So let's discuss the strategies for inclusive dispute resolutions. How can we make our process more inclusive? First, by cultivating awareness of our own assumptions and bias. Like I said from the very beginning, whether we want to acknowledge or not, every one of us has our own biases. We call cognitive biases. And then their procedural justice tells us that people value fairness, not only outcome, but also how they are treated. I remember Mr. Abe said yesterday or day before that when he started the conversation, he started mediation, he would ask the participant how individual party would like to be addressed. Mrs., Mr., or by name, first name, last name, or both names. What sort of sitting arrangement? Do they need a support person? This is just to accommodate, to make the process more inclusive and easy for everyone. So, like we said, procedural justice tells us people value fairness, not only the outcomes, but also how they are treated. So having a voice, being respected, and feeling that decisions are neutral and trustworthy. Then we need to look at the empowerment-based mediation techniques that can help balance powers and give all parties genuine participation, like giving equal time, not one have more time, the other have less time. And then also another one is ensure diversity among mediators, and panels also sends a strong message of inclusivity. Like usually, if you when conducting mediation with a cross-cultural or multicultural parties, it's good to have a co-party, a co-mediator model who have different cultural background and experience as well, just to make it more inclusive. And in terms of the practical tools, there are some practical tools to apply in your daily work, like use gender-sensitive communications and be attentive to who speaks and who gets interrupted. Choose inclusive language that acknowledge all genders respectfully. Structure your question to minimize bias, and where possible, use co-mediators with different backgrounds to balance perspective. This small step create a cumulative shift toward equity. And then we can also look at institutional responsibility. So when we talked about gender and power dynamic and intersectionality, it's not just about having 50% of male mediator and 50% of female mediator. It's not, the number is good. It's a starting point, but the most important thing is, regardless of gender identity, mediator should be informed and apply gender lens in the mediation process, regardless they are male or female. So institutions play a crucial role. We can advocate for policies that embedded gender equity into justice systems. Training programs and mentorship schemes can raise awareness and build skills for inclusive practice. Collecting and analyzing gender disaggregated data helps track progress and accountability. And partnerships with gender specialists and civil society can deepen our understanding and effectiveness. Like I mentioned, like I'm mostly work as a civil society activist and specialize in women's rights and gender. So I could be a good ally for mediator to mainstream gender and power dynamic understanding in mediation process. So it's like, it doesn't have to be one or the other, it can be both. And in the last slide, we talk about conclusions. As we close, I want to leave everyone in the room with a simple but powerful reminder. Fairness is not sameness. True justice requires us to see difference, not erase them. By understanding how gender and intersectionality shape experiences, we can design process that empower rather than silence. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. So for now, I will open the question and answer session again. Regarding to our time, I will try to open for three people first. So if you want to ask questions, please raise your hand and mention your name and your institution. Anyone here?
Or if you want my 40 hours course, raise your hand.
Okay, Prof. Sabella.
Thank you very much. So I think for this gender issue in mediations or ADR, alternative dispute resolution is really important for Indonesia Dispute Board. And actually, Indonesia Dispute Board would like to initiate a program together with you for the next 40 hours learning session or training, either online or offline, because Indonesia Dispute Board is committed to increase the number of female mediator and also female arbitrator, as well as female adjudicator and conciliators. So we want to make a space, an opportunity for female to be heard. I mean, to take a key strategic player, as mediator and arbitrator, because we want to apply outside of the court when people come to us to mediate like a family disputes, or especially for family disputes between male and female, husband and wives. If possible, Indonesian Dispute Board want to appoint a peer mediator. I mean, male and female mediator, because family disputes you are negotiating with husband and wife. If the mediator is a female, so sometimes for the husband, he will feel that as a female mediator, you will be more support your feeling and everything to the wife, or to the potentially to become ex-wife. Yeah, as a male mediator, so the wives will consider that you will more support the husband. So we want to initiate this kind of mediation, especially for a dispute, for family disputes, and if possible, we can arrange or organize a specific or special training in the future, or we can also put our this subject to our curricula, to our trainings, mediation training subjects. And also, if possible, we can also put these subjects to our joint program, master degree program, our joint program with one of university in Jakarta, if they approve this program. So I think we can put this one of subjects to be delivered during the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sabela. That would be a welcome proposal. And I have been doing this a lot for civil society in Cambodia. And right now I'm working with civil society in Sydney, also working on women's rights and gender and building this intersectionality understanding movement. So it would be a good collaboration as well. And I also shameless self-promotion here. So I'm also doing mentoring and coaching for personal and professional development goal. So I usually open it for young women that still figure things out and wanted to learn from experience. So if anyone here interested, they can also reach out to me. I do offer a free of charge some slots, but then I do charge for some slot as well. But I would be more than delighted to open and free some slot for young Indonesian women who really still figure things out and wanted to learn to develop themselves and their career, define their career goals. So I'll leave my email address with you.
Nanti dia katanya buat teman-teman terutama perempuan yang masih muda, yang tua mungkin enggak dulu. Jadi buat teman-teman yang masih muda, dia ada program untuk pengembangan diri. Entah kalian mungkin masih belum bisa menemukan jati diri istilahnya. Dia ada program itu. Jadi kalian bisa berbicara, nanti emailnya ada. Kalian bisa komunikasi lebih dengan beliau. Ya, terutama yang perempuan-perempuan yang masih muda ini. You still have a long future. Hey. So any question? This is very interesting about gender power.
Especially for women. Yeah. You must ask questions.
Yesterday I spoke with my I spoke with some of my clients, about public speaking. So sometimes we, especially for young women, in the platform like this, it could be challenging, right?
Exactly.
It could be, I mean, like, look in the room, there's professor, doctor, judges, prosecutor, and then there's you, young women, fresh graduate from school or something like that. And then you feel it can easily be intimidated in a room full of knowledge and wisdom like this. But what I have told my client yesterday is like, it's not about how influenced you can speak or how much strength your voice is. Sometimes you have to do it scared. Like if you have something to say, just stand up and shaking your body, shaking your voice. It doesn't matter. You just have to have the courage to stand up and ask the question. And people will celebrate that. The real people who really want to mentor you or support you won't judge how your voice are shaken, but they will celebrate. And as long as we keep stand up and say things, expressing ourselves, gradually it will become like solid. It takes time unless we do it, otherwise we will remain like self-doubt. So and this is what I told my client yesterday, and I would love to pass this to young women or men out here. If you are feeling not sure how to say things, or should you ask questions, or you're concerned that your voice may be breaking, it's okay. It's okay. Nobody gonna judge.
Jadi kembali lagi buat perempuan-perempuan yang masih muda di sini, kata beliau, kalian harus mulai berani, walaupun ketika misalnya untuk memulai berada di sini, it's not gonna be easy, nggak gampang. Tapi kalian harus berani dari sejak awal. Jadi in the beginning mungkin nanti kalian akan merasa kayak nervous dan ngerasa kayak takut sekali. Tetapi begitu kalian sudah bisa menyampaikan aspirasi atau suara kalian, orang-orang nggak akan terlalu peduli dengan ketakutan kalian. Malah mereka akan appreciate over what you're doing. Jadi kurang lebih seperti itu ya. Jadi perempuan-perempuan harus berani. Kalau misalnya ada yang pertanyaan sekarang, tanya aja, walaupun takut, coba. Walaupun orang yang ada di ruangan ini, kita tahu semua bahwa mereka adalah orang-orang penting dan mungkin mereka sudah punya pengalaman lebih dari ada yang 40 tahun seperti Prof. Abe, tetapi silakan. Ya, Ibu. Bu Nina.
Just a short question, Ms. Rachana. Back then, 2008, I was in Siem Reap. Siem Reap, yeah. I was helping the post-opening of Aman Sarah, one of the serious hotel in Siem Reap. It used to be the palace, holiday palace of King Sihanouk, things like that. And then we turned it out into a hotel. So back then, I saw women at work is much lower in number than men. So how is the movement now, the woman empowerment today in Cambodia? Because when in that time I also read your labor laws, because I was helping the people there. I don't see that there was an encouragement for women to be stepped into workplace or into the industry. So how, because if I saw women, there must be more Filipinos. Yeah, so especially those in the supervisory, and because Filipinos, got a very special visa or something like that to enter Cambodia. I think because of this connection, yeah, the bilateral agreements is very specific between Philippines and Cambodia at that time. So what is the condition now?
Thank you so much for the questions. I think I would like to respond it in like a trajectory backward, like the situation improved if we were to compare 10, 20, and 30 years ago. It's improved a lot, but if we just look at this year and the last 5 years, it's probably stagnant. It's not changed much. But what I can say is like there's law that guarantee equality between men and women, and our constitutional law recognize domestic work as work in the context of marriage. Like so, say if the husband go out, employ outside home, earn $1,000 a month. Women also who stay at home doing house chore also consider value $1,000 a month. That the law guarantee that. But again, there's traditional and culture. We are still, sadly to say, like a very hierarchy and patriarchal society. Men are still perceived as better and more dominant, more intelligent, and all of that. But again, I use the word perceive. It doesn't necessarily reflect the reality, because men and women would have the same mental capacity, provided that they are given the same opportunity and education and having the same resources. So it's not about being men or women. But there are, when we look at millennial, like women in my generation, we were born during the 80s, and we grew up, a lot of us have access to higher education, minimum at least high school, right? But the Gen Z generation, they even have more access to information technology, regional information and travel and all of that. So if we were to look from generation to generation, the situation of women's rights in Cambodia is improving, but it hasn't reached the point where we can say, yes, we are equal in society, even though our legal instruments said we are equal. Because and when it comes to work, there's a gender aspect of it. Like men are seen as manager, right? They tend to get manager position or decision-making position. Women also enter workforce, but more like secretariat level, or like, you know, like women are nimble and so not fit for decision-making position. There's still perception of that. And we just hope that with all our work and advocacy and lobbying and education, things will change in the next generation.
Thank you so much.
Yes, lots of work to do.
Okay, one more comment from Prof. Sabella, because no one raising hand here.
I think this is really interesting, because Indonesia is report, we have signed an MOU with Majelis Adat Aceh, or Aceh Customary Assembly. This is a local customary, what we call local customary institutions in Aceh. So I think we can start discussions and also like a special project with them, a training or something like that, how to increase the number of a female mediator at the customary level, especially in the villages. Because as long as I know in Aceh, even we apply a strong customary system, but the customary female mediator, almost none of female mediator appear. Yeah, to be a mediator in the customary society, especially in Aceh, because mostly our society in Indonesia, or we call now is Nusantara, mostly that the position of women is a subordinate of male, yeah, in our society. An exception is a customary society in West Sumatra. Yeah, they are not a patriarchy, but they are is a matriarchy system. Yeah, matriarchy. In Indonesia, only that society, only that province in West Sumatra, that a matriarchy system. So the inheritance is mostly for the women in the West Sumatra society. So I think we can start from Aceh and to other provinces that Indonesia District Board has already collaborations, how to increase, yeah, to increase number of female mediator, because I believe for some reasons on certain disputes, female mediator is more advanced, more professional and competent than male in some disputes or in certain cases. So that's my opinion.
Thank you so much, Prof. Sabella. So I think the time is up for this discussion. Before I officially close this session, I would like to thank to our amazing speakers, two women, Ibu Nengah and Ms. Rachana Bun. Thank you so much for sharing your expertises, your knowledge and experiences to us today. Please give a warm and round of applause to this superwoman. And probably I need to make a highlight for this several discussion that as a society changes, the complexion rises and the technology upgraded, more people seek for more efficient, flexible, confidential, and comprehensive solution, like a win-win solution. The ADR is the best solution for all those problems. Thank you so much. I will hand over this microphone to the MC.
Thank you for the excellent presentation by Ms. Rachana. To Ms. Rachana, the certificate will be sent later by the Dewan Sengketa Indonesia. Okay,
We'll take a picture together first.
Para seluruh peserta dapat berdiri. Pada petugas dapat mengambil tempat di depan panggung. Kepada bapak-bapak mungkin yang dari depan belakang bisa masuk ke depan.
Yeah, first then here.
Oh, di sini dulu.
Atau sana dulu, Mas. Ini dulu nanti baru sana. Mas, hitung ya.
Hitung dalam 1.
Kiri kanan saya.
Dengan 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1.
3 ya.
Habis sekali. 1, 2, 3.
Lagi dengan negara.
3, 2, 1. Baik, bisa berbalik kepada para peserta dengan para peserta. Siapa dulu? 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Jempol mungkin? Jempol. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Terima kasih. Oke, lagi sekali. 1, 2, 3. Terima kasih kepada seluruh peserta dapat duduk kembali. Acara selanjutnya kita akan melakukan coffee break selama 10 menit yang sudah disiapkan oleh panitia. All participants are requested to take a 10 minutes coffee break as arranged by the committee. Thank you.
have done marvelous job in organizing this event. It's a mammoth task. It's not easy. There's so much work and effort to be done to achieve this. But mostly I'd like to thank the invisible ones who are the engine of this conference. Imatul and Ikosti, they are the moderator and the MC who's sitting over there. But they are the driving engine for this session, for this conference, as well as all the volunteers we have. Without them, this will not be a success. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for doing a marvelous job and making this a success that we have so far. Conferences like this really enlighten us. I will never ever say, no matter how much experience and knowledge I have, that I know it all. We always learn. We always enhance our learning skill and truth. Life is a journey of learning. Learning is not an outcome. Learning is not a destination. Learning is a journey. And as long as we are alive, we learn. And I hope that we have added one extra step in our learning journey in this conference. One more thing I would like to say. Change does not happen without people making the change. We don't wait for change to happen by itself. We need to be the agents of change. We are the ones who can make change for better. Unless we make the change will not come to you. It will not come to me, and it will not come to anybody else. We need to be aware that we need to change, and the change does not happen automatically. Yes, there are rules and guidelines and policies in the place. That's how things been happening. But one thing for sure, rules, policies, whatever, are made by human, not by God. So we can change them to meet our needs today. They were meant for yesterday, but there could be some new ones need to be done today and tomorrow. Think about it, reflect, challenge. Just peacefully, of course. Challenge those rules and see how we can meet the needs of the people of today and tomorrow. So please be the agent of change yourself, and not agent of change in mediation, in your own environment, in your own place of work, at home. Just look around and think what changes I can make to make our life much better. This conference has given us so many tools, so much experience, so much knowledge. Let us use it and use it to make it better tomorrow for everyone. And I thank you, and I thank the organizers, and I thank IDB and everyone else that has participated in this glorious 4-day conference. Thank you.
Mr. Abraham Kanda. Next, we kindly to invite Professor Sabel Gaye to come forward, please.
Yes. Thank you very much for everyone. A very good morning for everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan Rahayu. I would like to express my gratitude to all organizing committee and also to the all participants who joining this event starting from November 5 until today for this event, either offline, in person, and also who are joining through our online platform. So the honorable guest speakers, Abi Kwadan, as the president of Asia International Dispute Resolution Association, (IDRA), and also the honorable guest speakers, paper presenters, who already present their papers from the day 1 until day 4, and also we also thank to all the participants who already support the successful of this event. It is a truly an honor and pride for Indonesia Dispute Board, to organize this event this year, 2025, in Bali Island, because last year we organized this event in Jakarta. So I hope that this event can be organized every year in different provinces, because we want to learn from the grounds by inviting diverse participants like this in person and also online. We can learn each other. We can share our knowledge and practices on how to strengthen mediations, arbitrations, or alternative dispute resolution system in Indonesia for a better futures of our own people. This event specifically carries the theme strengthening the current and future of arbitration and mediation system in Indonesia. So this theme reflects the commitment, strong commitment and solidarity and full support for advancing the dispute resolution sector, dispute resolution system in Indonesia. Through this conference, we expect that we can identify the bottlenecks of the current dispute resolution situations in our own society. As the coordinating Minister of Law, Human Rights, Immigration and Correctional, the Republic of Indonesia, Professor Yusril Izzah Mahendra mentioned, one of the bottlenecks of our ADR system is a culture or mindset. So we need to just slowly teach our family members, teach our neighbors, teach the member of village, teach our partners, our friends, our colleagues, teach others about this methodology, about this dispute resolutions. And then we hope that by organizing this event, we can increase our commitment to develop, to strengthen, an advanced dispute resolution systems. If any weaknesses in our system, we learn from others, we get information from others through their papers, presentations, through the discussions. So maybe we can apply, we can recommend, these informations to our local governments, to our society, to our legal enforcement institutions in Indonesia on how to adapt and to adopt a new best practices that applies in other countries. And we hope also to strengthen dispute resolution legal reform or legal system. And we expect also through this conference, we can increase innovation in mediations and ADR as the whole system. And we are really expect all the participants can also motivate to become a professional and competent mediator, conciliator, adjudicator, and arbitrator, because we want to increase not only the number of the mediator, conciliator, dispute resolver in our society, but at the same time, we want to improve the capacities, the knowledge, experiences, practical experiences of our dispute resolver in order to provide a better services to our society. No matter in the future, if you are already become a mediator, conciliator, or arbitrator, you provide a free services to your own community, or you can also become as a professional, as a paid mediator, as a paid arbitrator. So it's up to you, it's your choice. But our task is how to increase the number, the visibility of mediator and arbitrator. When the people have a problems or dispute in our society, they can easily find list of mediators. They know where to go. Sometimes our community members, they are very confused. If any disputes appear, where we can find a very competent and professional mediator, which government institutions or private institutions that can provide a free mediation room. People very confused, ladies and gentlemen. People, our society members, community members are really confused. If any dispute, where we can go? Because of our culture and mindset, member of community then go to law office, and commonly the lawyers, when they get a new clients, so they will encourage that the clients to give them letter of authority, and then they will go to the court. So that's why we can also learn from the best practice of Malaysian International Mediation Center, which is in Malaysia. The Bar Association there, they established a special unit which is called Malaysian International Mediation Center. So the Bar Association established a special unit on mediation. We can also need to encourage our bar associations like Pradi, Congress Advokat Indonesia, whatever the brands, whatever the names, you also should establish your own mediation unit. You need also to teach your new members or your old members or your current members about mediations. You need to release a special regulations of your bar association. If any of your bar association members receive a new client, you must encourage first them to use mediations or ADR as the first protocol before they go to the court. So I think we need to encourage our bar associations to do like that, to have a very advanced ADR system in Indonesia. And through this 4 days conference or annual event, Indonesia Arbitration Week and Indonesia Mediation Summit, we already draft recommendations for our stakeholders. So maybe the committee members can display some of the recommendations, and we can change it. We can change it the number and also the contents of the recommendation. But the first is we want to encourage, to recommend to our stakeholders, especially to the governments, to establish for Indonesian Dispute Board. I think this is for own purpose. Indonesian Dispute Board will establish together with MIMC, Malaysian International Mediation Center, which is called Indonesia-Malaysia International Mediator Working Group, that will facilitate a number of professional mediators to facilitate the resolutions of international workplace or international labor disputes between Indonesia and Malaysia. And also we encourage the revisions of the law number 30 1999 on arbitration and alternative dispute resolution, we also encourage the government to release the law on mediation, the law on conciliation, the law on adjudication, and maybe in the future the specific law on arbitrations. Because for some people, some members of the community, sometimes we cannot also differentiate, distinguish the definition between consultation, conciliations, and adjudications. We assume that all the three different definitions are the same in practice. In fact, it is very different. So we need to teach these differences to our community members. We also encourage the government to make a special provisions, whether maybe in the future in each ministries and local government, they can provide a free mediation room that can be used by anyone, professional and competent mediator. When members of community come to the mediator, they already have a free mediation room, no charges, like in the court. When you go to the court, you do mediation in the court already prepared a free mediation room. And also we encourage in the future, the state can finance or can give a funding or payment for pro bono mediator professional. So if you do your own mediation services freely to the member of community, so the government will pay you through the state budget or local government budget, because the government is entitled to pay your knowledge, to pay your time, availability, to pay your competency, your professionalism. This is the thing that we want to encourage to the government. And also we encourage the government to establish Indonesia National Supervisory Body on Arbitrator Code of Ethics. Because in Indonesia, I think in the future, there will be more private and independent arbitration institutions will be established by our citizens. So if any misconduct, misbehavior has been done by the arbitrator, so if Indonesia National Supervisory Body already exists and established, so the member of community can compile, they can report the code of ethics violations to get specific body or institutions. And lastly, we are going to organize our next year Indonesia Arbitration Week and Indonesia Mediation Summit 2026 in Bandung, West Java. So I hope next year, 2026, don't forget, we will have a coffee discussions in Bandung, West Java, and we have our partner there, University of Langlang Buana, UNLA, will be the organizer, will be a jointly organizing committee together with Indonesia Dispute Board. So I think that's all the important thing that I can say with you. So I would like also to thank you very much to all the organizing committee members, especially for during the conference, we have a very, I think, competent and professional moderator, Ms. Imro Atul Ipah, and also our MC, Ms. Igusti Ayu, Igusti Ayu Banu Moti Devi, Dasi, and also to all the organizing committee members and participants. We hope that we can also print your certificates for the offline or the in-person participant participants, we can give you hard copy certificates. You can contact the community members. And I think we are in the end of our speech. Have a great day. Yeah, because today is Saturday. Maybe Mr. Abe and Dr. Made, you have your own event, yeah, for the rest of the day. And thank you very much for all participants and organizing members. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi 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 Om Namo Buddhaya. Salam kebajikan.
Thank you for the excellent remarks from Professor Sabiati. It feels like the time has passed, but for the past 4 days we have been together. Participation in Arbitration Week in Indonesia Mediation Summit 2025. Many great people attended to make this event alive. May the knowledge share prove beneficial. And may the Indonesia dispute resolution gather serve as an inspiration to many people. See you to the next event. Saya Gusti Ayu Banwati Devidasi akan menutup acara ini dengan pantun. Jadi mohon catat ya. Kalau ada masalah di meja, jangan emosi atau malah sia-sia. Ada sengketa di antara kita, jangan lupa Dewan Sengketa Indonesia. Kepada pihak yang sudah mendukung kami dalam melancarkan acara ini. Terima kasih kepada seluruh hadirin yang telah bergabung dalam ruangan maupun juga Zoom. We, the organizing committee, would like to express our gratitude to those who have many support us in the making this event success. Thank you to all attendees who have joined us in this room or on the Zoom. We apologize if during the event there are many mistakes that were not to your liking. Finally, we close with Parama Santi. Om Santi, 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 Om. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Shalom, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Baik, kita akan langsung bersama kepada para hadirin dan juga atau VIP dapat maju ke depan. Selanjutnya, setelah kita foto bersama, kita akan melakukan makan siang yang sudah disiapkan oleh panitia di luar. Baik, kepada VIP dapat mengambil tempat dan kepada dokumentasi silakan. Kita juga akan melakukan foto bersama dengan para peserta, jadi jangan keluar terlebih dahulu.
Makan siang sesuai rundown 11.30 tolong. Sesuai rundown makan siang 11.30. Iya, di resto 11.3. Makan 30 tolong saudara. Kecilin.
Mohon perhatian, kami menyiapkan makan siang sekitar jam 11.30. Jadi kita bisa foto-foto terlebih dahulu dalam ruangan ini. Terima kasih.
Siapkan di depan, yang lainnya di belakang. Apa di atas yang lain?
Di atas ya. Ada peserta mungkin bisa maju ke depan. Kita akan lakukan foto bersama.
Atau di kamar. Boleh dipindah.
Mahasiswa mungkin bisa maju ke depan untuk foto bersama dan juga dengan para dosennya. Baik, untuk Teman-teman mungkin bisa maju, kalau misalkan belum tidak kuat bisa kita giliran ya. Kita akan lakukan 3 kali sesi foto. Untuk sesi pertama bisa maju ke depan. VIP 20 orang pertama silakan. Baik, hitungan 1, 2, 3. Tiga, dua, satu. Baik, mungkin kita bisa bergantian dengan sesi 2 yang di bawah. Untuk VVIP mungkin bisa tetap di atas, bergantian dengan yang lainnya. Ayo, Bapak. Kepada Bapak mungkin bisa maju, Bapak Ibu, cara bergantian ya. Masih bisa.
Pilahin ya.
Dalam hitungan 1, 2, 3. Baik, jempol. 3, 2, 1.
Bela negara.
Bela negara. 1, 2, 3. Baik, kita lanjut ke
Video.
oh, video. Baik.
Kalau saya bilang Dino Image 2025 sukses.
Oke.
Sukses 3 kali ya. Ya, ulang videonya bilang Bu dari sana Mbak.
Inno IMS 2025.
Komandonya.
Komandonya Pak. Baik, pada videonya silakan dimulai.
1, 2, 3.
Ayo Pak. 1, 2, 3.
Dino Image 2025.
Sukses, sukses, sukses.
Baik, untuk sesi 3 silakan maju ke depan.
Nanti
Baik, untuk sesi 3, apakah ada lagi? Apakah akan ada sesi 4 yang belum dapat? Ya, baik, kamera silakan. Oke. Jempol dulu, hitungan 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Baik, bela negara. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Video baik. Kamera, video. Standby. Oke, 1, 2, 3.
Dino Image 2025.
Sukses, sukses, sukses.
Satu sesi mungkin ada dapat giliran foto? Udah habis ya?
Belum,
Oke.
masih ada, masih ada.
Oh, masih ada lagi sekali ya, Pak? Masih ada. Ada yang belum dapat. Oke, yang belum dapat bisa bergantian ya. Silakan maju yang belum dapat foto. Baik, mungkin panitia juga bisa ikut ya bergabung. Panitia bergabung silakan.
Kamu udah?
Oke, silakan maju ke depan. Panitia silakan maju ke depan. Kita foto bersama dulu. Baik.
Oke, yang besar dulu, besar. Satu, dua, tiga. Sorry, yang besar dulu. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Sekarang jempol. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1.
Bela negara.
Sekarang bela negara. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1.
Sekarang video.
Video. Saya bilang satu masukan saya. Ya, ulang ya.
Oke, video ready.
1,
Video ready.
2, 3. Sorry.
Oke, video ready dalam hitungan 1, 2, 3.
Dino Image 2025.
Sukses, sukses, sukses. Oke, baik, kita akan foto bersama di hadapan peserta ya. Para fotografer bisa berada di atas panggung untuk foto. Oke, kepada peserta mungkin bisa merapat sedikit dari depan ya. Bisa maju biar lebih ramai ya. Bisa suruh peserta bisa maju ke depan. Ayo kita maju untuk meramaikan foto makin mana ya.
Belum jadi juga.
Bisa berdiri dan maju ke depan.
Ayo. Sudah selesai. Oh ya, nggak apa-apa. Komando.
Oke, hitungan. Oke, pertama kita ada di pegang pusat. Hitungan 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Selanjutnya jempol.
RCTI oke ya.
1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Selanjutnya bela negara. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Selanjutnya kita video. Kamera sudah siap? Baik. Dalam hitungan 1, 2, 3.
Dino Image